dream of a little young boy from the tiny little Bonaire island became a reality. From just a dream to a Boeing 747 captain. Bonaire Island, although a very little island down there in the Caribbean, has produced very much wise and professional citizens. I'd like to present to you, for example, a young Bonaire kid who always pretended to once become an airline pilot, and who nowadays is a proud captain on one of the world's biggest civilian aircraft, the Boeing 747-400. Referring here to no one other than Captain Joubert. As a young boy flying from Bonaire to Curaçao in the former and famous Beechcraft Queen Air, he always wished to be seated up in front of the cabin, so he could watch how the pilot flew that aircraft. But instead, the ALM ground personnel at Bonaire always asked him to sit all the way in the back on the covered toilet potty that aircraft had. Here you see a picture of that Beechcraft Queen Air during his glory days with the ALM Airlines. And here another picture of the same aircraft after I bought it and parked it in front of my home in the residential area. I'm afraid nowadays something like that is almost impossible. Andre, after growing up, did his very first familiarization flight with the well-known to all of you Roe Bicker in Roe's Small Piper Tomahawk. But Andre had further intentions than just being a private pilot. So later he grabbed his luggage and went to the United States to study airline transport pilot. He started his aviation studies at the Florida Institute of Technology in Melbourne, Florida. On this picture you see Andre in a Piper Warrior during an IFR flight. From 1989 till 1995, Andre got his very first job as an airline pilot with a small St. Martin-based commuter airline called Bonaire, flying Canadian Twin Otters. Maybe it's very important to mention that Captain Andre once even flew the Royal Dutch family from St. Martin to the tiny Saba Island. Reasons for the long sleeves on this picture. After Bonaire in St. Martin, Andre went closer to home, Aruba. There he worked with the former Air Aruba between 1995 till when operation ceased of that FQ airline in the year 2000. As the case with many ex-ALM pilots at this moment, to continue earning some income for a living, Captain Andre had to seek another employer abroad and found himself all the way in Indonesia, working as MD-82 captain for the Indonesian airline Boeing. On the picture, Andre with an Indonesian first officer. But for one or other reasons came the time to change for a heavier aircraft, the McDonnell Douglas MD-11. However, the transition from MD-82 to the heavy wide-body MD-11 has required some sacrifice, going one step behind from captain to a first officer, this time on a EVA Air cargo jet. As a cargo pilot, sometimes you're flying to the most imaginable destinations. On this picture, some view when flying to destinations like Anchorage. No blue Caribbean waters with fancy yachts and expensive ocean racers, but pure glacier and snow-covered massive hills. And his Mexicano captain starting their descent into cold Anchorage, Alaska. No luxury crew bedrooms like in the Airbus 380 or the passenger Boeing 747-400, but a simple cargo aircraft sleeping bunk. Look at this one, not an EVA Air special agent, but the winter gear one must wear to make the walk around in bitter cold prior departure. Cargo pilot, not always funny. Instead of being on a lazy chair down there on a warm Caribbean island, sipping some cold beer watching Holland versus Germany, to must getting out into minus 15 Celsius for a walk-around inspection of the aircraft. Finally, after many days and nights of hard study, 4 stripes again, but this time on one of the biggest civilian jets. André Joubert, commander of the mighty and heavy Boeing 747-400 Foxtrot. It has been a real honor and pleasure telling you this nice story of a very fine and decent Bonaire-born citizen who has made his young boy dream became reality through many perseverance. As a good ex-DC-10 veteran captain friend of mine always keeps saying over and over, estudia para luego triunfar. Thanks for watching and till the next successful pilot story. Oh, I almost forgot this.